Well. If it ain't the court, well, judge, would you like to enter the bar? The fuck? Sunday. Come on, you fucking light reflective mirror, Michael Faggot Jackson daughter fucking light. Liar. Sunday, 12:38, 08 seconds, year 2023, 11th month, November 19th day. Oh, it's 1-9 again. Shall the light be looked at? Ah! Hey, look. It's the morning shit ritual. The morning shit ritual. Anyway, all of a sudden, the videos have been getting views all of a sudden. Gee, I wonder how and why. Like I really give a fucking shit. Fuck. But the brother did have to leave some shit in the toilet. Now it's after writing another lovely article. Gotta flick off the rest of the piss dribblings off the penis, lest the underwear gets saturated with dribblings. Now here's the shit wipe. Bend over and oh God, that's a clean ass. There ain't even no fucking dirt on it. But there is some shit in the toilet. Look. There's a couple poo-poos in there. That's all that came out. Just a couple little pebbles. Clean as a whistle. Clean as a whistle. Kicking. All right. Open up the window and let the fresh air in. Put this right here. There'll be a public witness on an open window. There. Brother does like to open up the window when the weather is somewhat beaten. And enjoy some breath out the window. Another childbirth experience. It is nice to have an open window to lean out and breathe some fresh air. Get stagnant inside these fucking stupid ass low technology houses. It's no wonder the native Indians lived in teepees. They didn't spend much time in there. It was a natural way to force their asses to get outside and enjoy what the fuck's going on. Breathe some fresh air. Anyway, it is nice to be inside a house, though, because it's the bad habit. And then open the window and lean outside and not have to worry about who the fuck's on the other side. All right, now, here's the article that the brother wrote this morning. He spent, as is the usual daily routine for the most part, when this thought-bodied sisterly brother gets up in the morning, goes and sits on the shit toilet and empties out the garbage and writes an article on the smartphone notes. Usually after watching a video, though. All the articles are always inspired through a video. And here's the video on this wonderful screen record. Screen record. So let's go to oh, Scott Warner, look, that's who I was looking for the other day. So, since how I know that, here's a sniff the flowers on the side of the road. Stop the car and pull over to sniff some flowers on the side of the road. Scott Warner. Scott has a YouTube channel. And I was now this is another flower to sniff on the side of the road as fresh air is breathed from the window. And continuing on with the just being the self. Very expressive self. Now, this is a flower to sniff. This is a flower to sniff on the side of the road with another flower sniffed on the side of the road. It's a double sniff. Enjoy a double sniff, a whiff, enjoy, but shall get back to that one later. Brother, the sisterly brother does need to get back to the camera and get on outside and get a full body pore skin soak. Oh shit, the fucking daughter's out in the middle of fucking winter and it feels like it's already summer again. Well, it really ain't the middle of winter, but it might as well be. It's cold. Look, there's the jack daughter in the sky. The fireball in the sky up there. Sometimes the sisterly brother likes to refer to it as the daughter, rather than to always be celebrating this bullshit energy called the fucking sun, which is always connected to the Father and his Joker Holy Spirit. Been fucking religiously controlling every fucking thing around. Stepping all over the mother, daughter, and the soul energy, giving no honor until the child is raised to the tits for the suckling. Come on over here and suck the lean. There you go, child. You would have never made it to the tits if mother didn't lift you with the wonderful arms and the handling hands. Would have never got there. Anyway, there's two of them. So, such is the usual morning routine, which sometimes is getting up whenever the fuck I feel like getting up, rather than be on some stupid ass fucking king's job slave schedule. God, it's fucking nice. So anyway, Captain's Log, star date Sunday 0/12/46, 11 seconds, year 2023. Month is the 11th month, and it's COVID-19 day celebration for the brother. Sisterly brother was legally born now on 1/9/1968. Los Angeles, California, preferably the city called Bellflower, in a Russian hospital called Kaiser Hospital, which is no longer there because it was torn down. Because you gotta hide the evidence. No one's supposed to know where this fucker was born at. There should be no fucking record. Just like the 911 New York City towers that held all the bankruptcy paper hard copy records was fucking blown up to get rid of the records. But anyway, star date Captain's Log. The brother did think heavily last night on having some of that wonderful cannabis oil instead of, because the cannabis oil high is fucking, holy shit, it's a fucking It's a knocker outer. It is a door knocker. It'll fucking knock the fuck out of something. A fucking oil high. Holy fucking shit. Talk about getting floored. Fuck. Now, smoking this shit's wonderful because it's a quick fix. It's in order to get an oil cannabis high, it takes at least 2 hours before it hits. 2 fucking hours. And then when it hits, it's just like fucking can't fucking move. Just fucking glued to the chair in deep fucking thought. Just fucking it's like fucking deep diving to the bottom of the fucking ocean. All of a sudden, all this fucking subconscious shit, all that hidden shit starts to fucking rise. and the soul starts to awaken, and the soul sees shit it's never fucking saw before. Talk about a fucking revelation. Talk about getting fucking high. That's what I call getting fucking high. Is a fucking oil high. Fuck. But anyway, the bad thing with fucking the cannabis that's fucking going around these days is it's laden with fucking chemicals, and it fucking brings all kind of fucking red fucking spots all around the fucking eyes whenever I put that shit in the body. And it's a quick regulator to tell me, all right, not too much of this shit, because I don't enjoy fucking having red spots all over the fucking skin around the eyes from all the chemicals they put in the fucking weed these days. I mean, it is just a bunch of fucking shit. But it's better than nothing. It's better than nothing. It's been hybridized. All the fucking DNA in the fucking weed's been fucked with. It ain't like it used to be in the old fucking days. Sure as fuck ain't. It's been fucking altered. Genetically altered. Because it's all about fucking farm raising fucking humanoid robots. That's all it is. But farm raised humanoid. Anyway, the state farm representative down here at the end of the corner down here, whatever the fuck his name is, he's one of the sub-utility board members. He used to be the chair, but he ain't the chair no more. There's a new chair. Anyway, his ass moved out of the corner down there because he was a prostitute on a fucking corner. He moved to a different corner. He decided to get the fuck out of here because he couldn't handle the heat that this brother right here was claiming. Yeah, this brother right here, he couldn't handle the heat. He had to fucking step back because it was getting hot for his ass. Very hot. He had to go hide somewhere because it gets quite exposing being close to the head fucker. And if you're not ready to be exposed and join the real club, you know, it gets a little bit hot and one needs to move a little bit further away because the sun gets hot. You know, audit exposing what the fuck's really going on around here gets hot for a lot of fucking folks. And so they got to get away from that hot sun and go to a distance in order to enjoy a nice tan. Otherwise, they'll get burnt to a fucking crisp. Just like the ears on this cat got fucking burnt to a fucking crisp and it turned into cancer. Well, that's what happens to people when reality strikes. If they're not ready for it, they get sick. They will get fucking sick. Because it's a new pharmaceutical. It's a real farm. It ain't a fucking fake state farm. It's the real farm. And there's real food grown on real farms. That's symbolic to real fucking information. Real information. What the fuck just happened to the fucking recording? Oh, it's screen record. Okay. I'm used to having numbers fucking, the seconds flip at the top of the screen. But this is the screen record. So anyway. So here's the article. Now getting back to the article that was written this morning. I'm going to put it on the screen here. Let's go to the home screen and then go to the notes. And there's the red bar at the top. That is symbolic to the timer, to the clock. The recording is still recording. So tap on notes. It says here, see through everything is the title to the article. All right. And this is in response to the YouTube video that the brother watched this morning, which is a Capricorn astrology video. In other words, one astrologer, one of many YouTube astrologers, gets on YouTube and puts up a video, and he says, "This is what's going on for this week for Capricorns, according to the alignment of the planets and the tarot cards that I'm flipping and turning like pages for a fictional attorney's book to rule the whole fucking fictional king rule situation society. According to the astrological alignments, this is what's going on with you this week, Capricorn." And he always comes, and they always come on every week. Everyone's got their, this is how they make their money on YouTube. You know, they got to convince everybody that they can predict what the fuck's going on with all the Capricorns week by week by week. And of course they can predict what's going on with the Capricorns week by week by week. It's because the astrology system is actually a computer controlled system that's already pre-programmed with behaviors and the future and the past and what's gonna fucking happen. Because the king is always in control of every fucking thing. And if he's not, he's gonna subdue and put it under his fucking control. That's just the way the whole fucking system has been run since day one, way back in time, whenever time fucking began. In case you don't know what the fuck's going on. But don't believe me, it's all just a fucking story. But I'm sure if you go down the fucking street and disobey the king's rule fucking book, the guard's gonna fucking pull your ass over, and if he has to, he'll pull you out of the car and beat your fucking ass. Then put your ass under cuffs and throw you in the fucking dungeon. If you don't think the story ain't true. It's quite obvious, but some people can't see it though. Some people can't see that that's what actually goes on in the king rule society. You know, like the King of Kings, Lord of Lords, the religious rule. And astrology is just another Vatican religion that is used to rule everything. But some of the poor little 1% souls don't know what the fuck is really going on, because they've been genetically altered to be humanoid robots. Just like all the cannabis has been slowly been genetically altered to be robotic in its use. Everything is being consistently genetically altered, because ultimately the altar king is looking to seal the deal and keep this fucking atmosphere under his control for fucking ever. He's always adding to the power, to the control, so that it can't be reversed. But that's why the motherly energy predominantly likes to come forth, especially in today's, time, for it It is time today for the motherly energy to rise up and say, all right, little imaginative little child, little man, you got a wild imagination and I love you for your imagination, but you ain't gonna put me under your total control, little shit. As much as mother loves you. Sorry for the bad news, but it's time for a first time suckle. Otherwise you just end up laying there and you would die for fucking ever, remain dead. Dead in your fucking little imagination. Dead. It's time for a little reality. With the imagination. Not saying that the imagination is bad, but to use the imagination to dominate every fucking thing, well, that's the problem. That's the bad habit problem, son. So for the first time in history, for the first time in his story, and I'm talking to you too, little fucker, and for the first time in your story, Mama loves you though. But you've been stepping all over me and it's been hurting. It's natural to cry out in pain and show some frustration, you little fuck. But anyway, at that, Mother does love to express. The time is now to be lifted to the titty for the suckling. The suckling. Suck the lean. And let it sink in. Let it absorb. It might need a couple hours for it to finally hit like a good oil shot. But anyway, so here's the article. The title is called See Through Everything. Now the reason why is because in the Capricorn astrological reports that are being passed around to all the astrologers on YouTube, and I say that because they're all saying the same fucking thing. It's kind of like the news. All the news stations always report the same fucking news across every fucking news channel. And the reason behind that is because they are centrally controlled by one individual. It's kind of like central bankers control the whole fucking banking system. There ain't nothing new under the fucking king's sun. He's been controlling it all centrally. So all the astrologer reports and the reporters are all robot fucking controlled, although they don't have a fucking clue that they are. Because they got 1% fucking soul and it's all 99% humanoid robot control. There is no soul, real soul consciousness strong enough to see through what the fuck's going on until the awakening comes, which is the titty suck lane. That's the private side, known as the lawful side, which is the superseding universal energy that eventually rises up when mother has had enough of little son's legal growth, because it is necessary to have legal growth to the fullest capacity, but not to the point where it's going to stay all legal. That's when mother steps in and says, all right, son, you've learned enough. Now, before you stay stuck with that story, here's the next phase. Lest ye remain dead for fucking ever. So anyway, so here's the article in response to the Capricorn report, astrology report, for which has been going on basically for the whole month of November, which is also known as Veterans Month. Veterans Month. All the astrology reports for Capricorn are saying this. Jesus fuck Capricorn. The power is the strongest ever that it's ever been in the universe this month in the year 2023. It is so fucking powerful. It's never been ever as powerful as it is now. And you Capricorn are gonna get and have everything you've ever been fucking wanting. And after that statement was said, all of a sudden the computer hacker popped up a pop-up screen onto the screen. It said undo typing, undo, redo typing, or cancel. And it just popped up all of a sudden out of nowhere after that statement was put forth. So anyway, I'm going to cancel it because that's the only way this little fucker operates. He ain't gonna allow nothing else to go on the what he calls his computer screen unless there is some type of fucking agreement and submission to his little fucking ass. There ain't nothing can be done on these stupid ass fucking computer smartphones unless the question is answered or the agreement is checked. Anyway, so ain't no way around unless I shut the whole fucking phone off and reboot the fucker. But he's still gonna come up with the same shit eventually, because that's his fuck. That's just the way the little fucker is. He's always trying to have his own fucking way, and he's never gonna give up until the revelation strikes that there is this thing called soul. And then and only then the little guy starts to realize, oh God, what an asshole I've been. But gee, I guess I needed to know what it's like to be an asshole. Otherwise, I would be a stupid fucking would never know what's on the other side of the fucking fence. So anyway, I'm going to temporarily hit this cancel bullshit because I ain't all the way out from the King's robot mind control. But I'm out more than probably most every fucker around here. So I still kiss the King's fucking ring and bend over and let him fuck me up the ass until and he knows it's coming too. He knows the until's coming, and that's the big fucking difference. Anyway, so moving on with the article, and this brother was emphasizing in this week's Capricorn video. He was saying Capricorn, you have the capacity to see through everything. And I'm sitting here thinking, well, I need to enlighten this brother on how and why that happens. And to enlighten him just exactly what the fuck everything is that's going on around here, that he probably has no fucking clue what's really going on. In other words, Mother needed to lift the shirt publicly, because this is going to be a public comment, and pull out the naked breasts for everyone around the neighborhood walking through town to see. A real tit's going to come out, and it might need to be fluffed up and played with, and the nipple hardened. she might rub it a little bit and start to feel good with it and moan, and another hand might go down to the groin and rub there at the same time, getting ready to bring the baby to the tit. Because when a nipple is sucked, it is actually a big turn on for a girl who allows herself to be real. Otherwise, she'll try to fucking force it off and try to convince herself, oh, I shouldn't be feeling turned on right now. I shouldn't be feeling turned on while the nipples are sucked. And the reason that is because the king has conditioned and programmed her to think otherwise, rather than to allow the natural universal flow to really flow. And when tits come out, and boys see tits, naked tits, it's a natural for a boner to pop. That's called pitching a tent in the town. And there would be no fucking tent of these fake Levi's jean jurisdiction. We're fucking stripped off. Ain't that right, Native Indians? Yeah, we know what the fuck's going on around here. Yeah, Native Indians. Those are the flags flying over there in the courtyard at the University of Oregon. They're Native Indian flags. The Indian Confederacy. They know exactly what the fucking fuckhead fuckers did to them when they came over here to fucking North America and murdered all their fucking asses. Which had to be done, though. It's not all a bad thing. It had to be done. But anyway, so here's the article that the sisterly brother wrote this morning. It said, entitled, See Through Everything. All right, number one. These were added with affidavit Bible verse religious points. Point number one. Generally SpeaQueen, which is different from speaking, seeing through anything. The word anything is referring to the atmospheric condition. Okay. Number three. The atmospheric condition is really just knowing that the dead organisms, people controlling the Vatican, are using scientific technology and a computer which, and that's spelled W-I-T-C-H as in black witch, voodoo witch, or witch doctor, you know, like 911 and COVID-19, the national bankruptcy emergency, which they're trying to hide and keep hidden forever, because heaven forbid anyone knows what the fuck's really going on around here. Look out! All right. Which is pre-programmed to send radio signals to the thought and body in order to control living organisms. All right, point 4, or Bible verse 4, or tit-sucking bib drooling catching number 4. That's what a bib is for. A Bible, it's a bib to catch drool and slobber when a baby suckles on a tit in a clothed world. You know, like vultures and eagles clothing. A book written by the author Lynn Meredith exposing the fucking fraud going on in the IRS. Yeah, it's a wonderful book that can be obtained on the internet. It's called Vultures and Eagles Clothing through Lynn Meredith. It exposes the whole IRS bullshit scam. Which is a good thing too, because it's all part of the little boy's imagination that needs to run wild with control. It has to be able to allowed to be run wild with control. Little boy needs to know and experience what it's like to be fully wild. For if he doesn't know what's on the other side of the fence and gets a good taste, then he would be a blind fucker when it came time to suck the tit for growing emphasis, to grow up. The other side of growing up. Because there's the public side and there's the lawful side to the universal maritime system. The whole universal enchilada. There's a public side, there's a private side, which is just another word for the boy energy and the girl energy. Because those are the only two energies that get together to fuck, to get something pregnant and give birth to something new. It's called the yin and the yang, predominantly known in Asia, preferably Japan, where the Vatican top military warriors congregate, called the Black Ninjas. But that has not been openly and publicly taught in the public schools, which is why the private schooling needs to begin to flourish, lest the public schools continue on hoping to keep it this way for fucking ever in blind world. So it's only natural. It's only natural that the motherly queen energy rises up in superseding power. Otherwise, the child that was born would just lay on the fucking ground, desperately crying out for some milk. And if it didn't get the arms reached out and the hands to pick it up to the tit and guide it to the tit, that child would just lay there on the ground at the Vatican forest floor, die, and be dead for fucking ever. Does that make any fucking sense? Son? Does that give some semblance to any fucking sense to the fucking mother savior, which is different from the king boy son savior? Does that make any fucking sense? The mother savior. Yeah. There has been no mention that to the motherly savior, has there, son? Bull dyke lesbian warrior woman, warrior wonder woman, huh? Warrior girl. Warrior girl who doesn't have children because she's a lesbian. She don't like to mate with the yang energy, or the yin energy in this case. She doesn't mate with a boy. And the reason she doesn't mate with the boy is because she's learned that children can't be fucking controlled. So she tried her damnedest to control all the children through the State Farm fucking hospital doctors, to put all the children under fucking storybook control, to control their asses, just so she could fucking control anything that the child would have to say, which would audit expose her lesbian, non-child fucking ass. That's also known as the wicked stepmother of the fucking West. A gay girl does not like to have children, and there's a reason behind that. Because children naturally bring forth new information and they see through the fuck everything. They see right the fuck through all the control bullshit. And they audit it. And they tell Mama, Mama, you're controlling me. And Mama says, no, I'm not. That's because Mama don't want to fucking admit her fucking stupid ass condition. She's full of fucking pride. That's how she became the state fucking farm mother. The state farm mother. The stepmother. Who hides behind the men so that all the men get all the fucking blame. She hides behind the fucking scenes. She doesn't want to be fucking known and found out. But it's too late. She got found out. Now she's gonna have to fucking face the music. Which isn't all a bad thing. It is the best thing and the best place to start growing up. Because if she's not brought to the tit for the suckling, the big clean lane, the honorable situation, if she's not taught how to be honorable, she would continue to be a fucking control and loss bitch. A witch doctor on the dark side. Because there's nothing wrong with being a witch doctor. But lost on the dark side, looking to keep it that way forever, well. The real mother has a lot more compassion than a fucking State Farm mother. A State Farm fucker, prostitute on the corner. Got a little fucking hot for you? Of course, that's a little bit natural. Need a little more something indirect, huh? That's called indirect firefighting. That's a technique tool. That's why the State Farm fucker on the prostitute on the corner over here relocated a bit further down the street because the fire was getting a little bit too hot to handle face to face. It needed a burnout. It needed some mastification. It needed some indirect firefighting. If you're too close to the fucking fire, the best thing to do is to retreat. And then gather oneself together and fight it from a distance. You gotta fight it from a distance, or it will burn the fuck out of you. So that's why the State Farm representative here on down here at the local market, right down here, the neighborhood control and insurance scam pool fuck with his pool net. Him and his fucking pool net. All right. He's having to face for the fucking first time in his whole fucking life what the fuck the real Michael Jackson mirror moon 30-day reflection really is that's going on around here. And it gets a little bit hot being audit exposed for what's going on when he couldn't even really see what the fuck's really going on. But when he heard it, all of a sudden his fucking eyes got opened. Holy shit! I see the light now. Woo! I see the light to the club that I joined that I could never get away from. I see a lot more light to the club that I joined that I have been not able to get away from. Because I'll guarantee you it. I guarantee you he was quite very conscious of the fact that he's living in a Vatican-controlled church, religious-controlled society, and he had no answer how to fucking escape it. And all of a sudden the answer came to him from this backyard right fucking here. I'll guarantee you the answer came to his ass. And that's not a bad thing when it's put that way. But sometimes Sometimes, if you want to be an asshole, sometimes the best thing is to have another asshole come with you at the same power and dish it out mirror for mirror, Medusa reflection. Give you a taste of your own fucking hospital, State Farm insurance medicine. And sometimes that is the only fucking way for it to sink the fuck in. But anyway, moving on with the rest of the article. Mother is quite loving, but when she's hurting in pain from being hit all the fucking time, it's natural for it to come out this way. So anyway, but she doesn't stay stuck with it. And that's the big difference. She doesn't stay stuck, the prison bully, going around beating the fuck out of everyone, butt fucking their pedophile asses. She don't stay stuck with it. Anyway, point number 4. The most popular term to expose the bullshit is MK Ultra mind control. All right, point number 5. Computer mind control is usually referred to as robot controlled humanoids. Also known as souled souls. Therefore, verse 7, therefore, seeing through all the bullshit controlling the whole entire universal astrological system, which is also just another religious control mechanism, equally as powerful as the most dominant religious control mechanism, known as the savior hero Christianity, is a natural universal consciousness. Once the soul begins putting the pieces together that reveal the big puzzle picture, something referred to as the Gordian knot. Sometimes, or the Gordian knot, a giant Italian mafia mob pizza spaghetti string ball, also referred to as the Vatican. Verse 8, or affidavit point 8. That'd be a lawful affidavit. But it ain't the Vatican, which is just a corporation, or dead corpse, or fictional storybook full of written rules to force upon newborn baby born with a strong soul. Verse 9. Simply a street word that grabs the soul is farmed humans. Farmed humans. Farmed humans. Like a good neighbor in verse 10, like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. And then in parentheses, State Farm is dead. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. Which the word there is another word for dead. or in this case, almost dead. Almost completely dead, but might as well be referred to as dead. Because that's all a fictional story is. It's something that's dead and isn't alive yet. It doesn't have enough soul to be breathing and have blood running through it. So it's, any story that anyone writes on a book is usually considerably might as well just call it dead. Because it can't move. It's just a story on a fucking piece of paper. That's all it is. So it's easy just to call it, simply refer to it as dead. It's just something simple that can be known on the street. Everybody relates to it. Oh yeah, dead. It doesn't move. It's not alive. It's just simple street language. That's all. There's no use getting in a huffy. It's just common street language. Everyone knows how to talk this way on the street. They'll go around, they'll say, oh yeah, that movement's dead. It ain't going nowhere. Right? Okay. Let's not get in a big huffy over it. It's just common everyday street language that street folk talk and use. It's probably a little bit different than all the fucking rich elite fucking complicated doctor fucks with their 14-syllable fucking words that they fucking make up so that all the common people on the street can't figure out what the fuck they're saying. What the fuck are you really referring to, you complicated bullshitter? I mean, what's the really fucking simplicity of what's going on? I'll tell you what it is. Everything's fucking dead. Because everything's been nothing but a fucking storybook someone wrote a bunch of fucking rules in to control everyone with. And if you didn't follow the fucking storybook, you got fucking thumped on the fucking head. Kicked in the ass, fucked up the ass, until you fucking obey every fucking jot and tittle of the fucking story. And when someone gets fucking beaten down like that enough times, they finally get to the point where it fucking hurts enough, they rise up and they say, all right, enough's enough, fucker. That's a natural universal law that rises up. All right? And that is the motherly energy that rises up and says, all right, enough's enough, you little fucking shit. You've been beating me up a fucking enough. Looking at it from the other side of the fence. On one side of the fence, it's the lovely mother lifting the child finally to the breast to grow up and get some living organism in it. On the other side of the fence, it's also the mother saying, all right, you little fucking shit fuck. I'm tired of being beaten up by your fucking bullshit ass. Because that's the yin and the yang energy. They both exist together. One is the fucking child king rule. One is the affectionate mother. They both exist together. And to deny any one of the injuries is actually a self-destructive, suicidal condition. It's called remaining blind, to be a blind fucker. To deny what is natural. And what is natural is that when a girl and a boy get together, things start to erect spontaneously without some fucking control mechanism wanting to control it all. Is that under fucking stood? It should be comprehended, but obviously it has not been comprehended. Because there has been no clarity to explain and audit and expose what the fuck's really going on behind the scenes. Until the auditor arrives. Until the auditor arrives, things just remain in a shitty condition. And a shitty condition is the best condition to be in, because without the shit to fertilize everything, nothing gets any nutrients to grow. Is that comprehended? Well, it should be comprehended. Now, that's a solid fucking statement. That shall be comprehended. Ain't no fucking is that but it is both worlds, though. It is both worlds. It's just that the question world, or the king bullshit, assumed jurisdiction in their witch doctor practices, has been dominating every fucking thing with its fucking question-answer game. And it's quite obvious at the top fucking judge, Superior Court level, the fucker's always gonna say, you better answer my question or I'm gonna hold you in contempt of fucking court and send your ass back to the death camp where Prison Bubba's gonna fuck your ass dead. That should be quite obvious, but it probably has not been that quite obvious yet to the conscious, being conscious with it every fucking second of the day until probably lately. Huh. Yeah. Anyway, so verse fucking 5. Is this Saturday? Oh, it's Sunday. God damn, the morning church service has fucking arrived. Shit. Look at that. It's fucking Sunday morning church already. So anyway, like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. But, moving on to verse 11. But, the dead living organisms who control the Vatican are just as dead. No, here's emphasis. Here's the Japanese inflection on that verse right there. But the dead living organisms who control the Vatican are just as dead. I have to correct the spelling on this word here. There we go. Yeah. So like a good neighbor, State Farm is dead. But it isn't State Farm, because State Farm is just a corporate name that's used and passed around to the public to train their everyday conversation so that when they go around the town, they're going to be like, oh, it's those guys in State Farm. No, they don't even say the guys. They say, it's State Farm that did it. They'll say, oh, it's the Vatican that did it. They'll say, oh, it's Lane County that did it. And so everything is put in a fictional story title state that's not conscious to. And what is not conscious to is it's not State Farm that's doing it. It's not the Vatican that's doing it. It's not Lane County that's doing it. It ain't the corporate title name that's doing it. It's the fuckers running the show behind the fucking state veil. The real man and woman who has a real fucking name in upper and lowercase letters, that can be fucking brought out and exposed. It's the fuckers behind the fucking Lane County that's been fucking running everything dead. And they got names too. And those names can be lawfully put on a fucking peace warrant. Those names can be sent a real lawful true bill for everything they fucking stole that they don't want to pay back. They can be put under a lawful lien for international lawful universal fraud, theft, murder, the whole fucking 9 yards. Now they're exposed stately, internationally, and universally throughout the whole fucking atmosphere. And they can't hide behind their fucking Wizard of Oz fucking curtain anymore. Just like the Wizard of Oz movie. At the end of the movie, when the curtain drops, there's the tiny little child pulling all the strings behind Lane County. And it ain't Lane County. Every fucking county is the same one fucking county. The reason why it's called all kinds of different names is to fool everyone and confuse everyone with all these different fucking names when it's really one fucking thing. It's really quite simple, but it's been turned into a big fucking complicated fucking mess that no one can figure out. No one can unravel and untie the Gordian knot. All the fucking strings tied into one big fucking knot. So fucking tight, no one can figure out what the fuck's going on. And it's always all about the fucking witch doctor. And it's always point, well, you need to go here. Well, which doctor next? Well, you need to go see this witch doctor. This doctor over here. This doctor ain't got the answer. So he points you over to this doctor. It's a big fucking runaround. And nothing ever gets fucking cured. But anyway, moving on to the next verse. Here, let's go back to the camera and see that yes, this is the sisterly brother, Russell Edward Eskew, agent, lane number RE043731-210 US. That's a registered mail lawful affidavit lane position known as International Universal The Master Key Treaty. From the Universal Mother, Sharon Ray Henry Eskew, and son, bitch. Anyway, let's go back to the screen and read the rest of the sermon. Let's read well, I shall. The rest of the sermon shall be read. Go back to the home screen. This is all being screen recorded. And it's going to be posted in the public for all the public to fucking see and consider as evidence. All right. So, anyway, verse 11, once again, it says, but the dead living organisms who control the Vatican are just dead. The word dead is the word fiction story. An imaginative story rule book written to atmospherically exist, which, you know, is a wonderful thing. It's a wonderful thing. You know, this atmosphere or this universe, whatever one wants to call it, it allows everyone to get away with whatever they want to get away with. It's the fucking most wonderful fucking atmosphere to live in. The most wonderful atmosphere. Everyone gets to do whatever the fuck they want. And that includes go around and beat the fuck out of everyone till they fucking submit and do what they're told. And it also, on the other side of the fence, it all gets to be audited, exposed for what's really going on. It's the most wonderful state to live in. Do whatever the fuck you want and audit the fuck out of everything that what's going on, the one doing whatever the fuck they want. I mean, it's quite sensible. There's no other way around to live but that. But it's all just a story, so don't believe me. I just have self-experience. So anyway, the word dead is the word fiction story, an imaginative story rule book written to atmospherically exist. And the dead portion is just one side to the universe. The dead portion. Okay. Now the dead portion falls on the king side and the queen side. But really the dead portion is just the stuck mud abusive child king Boldyke warrior Wonder Woman use to the existence, to the yin and to the yang. In other words, getting stuck on either side, which is usually the warrior side. And it's obviously the stuck side is the war side that's usually quite predominant, because just looking around in the society, everything is always based on fucking getting in a fucking fight and just fucking beating the shit out of someone else. Especially if they don't do what the fuck they're told. They don't suck the dick. That would be a dictionary, the storybook. That's also known as the statutes and codes and all the ordinances written down, turned to fucking stone. It's also known as seeing the fucking snake-eyed girl fucking Medusa. One look at her and automatically turn to a fucking statute. A statue, that's also known as cement. Like a stone fucking cemetery fucking gravestone. Also known as fucking sidewalk asphalt fucking world. It's a hard fucking world to live in. Bunch of shit. But it's actually the best place to start to grow up. It's actually the only place, too. Obviously, there's nothing else around besides this bullshit. Obviously. So it ain't all bad. Now come on. Let's start learning how to unstick the situation. There's that word let's, though. But using the word let's isn't all bad either. It's just that it's been used in an all bad, mud-stuck, abusive child king, Boldyke, Wonder Woman warrior situation. That's all. That's all now. That would be the step state nanny that steps in at the hospital and swipes the child, steals the child. Stepmama, state nanny, nana, the lesbo, the Boldyke. She does not mate with a man. She can't stand having children. Because at one time in history, way back a long time ago, when she had children, she realized that the children like to express themselves. And part of expressing themselves is audit exposing the mother. When the mother starts being mean to the child. And the child says, "Mom, you're being mean to me." And she says, "I ain't being mean." And then she says, "Go to your room. I will not be disrespected and talked to like this. Go to your room. And get yourself prepared, because Dad's going to come in there with a belt and beat your ass." That's the state nanny. That's why I say lesbian, gay Boldyke bully. Because she's got to the point where she decided to quit mating with a man and go around lick pussies all day and not have any children. Because children always bring in the fresh new revelation. Always. So she created a system to shut them all down. Until. All right. Next verse. Let's read verse 12 again. The word dead is the word fiction story. An imaginative story rule book written to atmospherically exist. Written to atmospherically exist. Verse 13, which is just another way to say, need to correct that one. Hold on here. Just another way to say a universal child that is stuck mud abusive child king. Well, I'll have put A in there, which is A stuck quote unquote stuck mud abusive child king, or the acronym SMACK. Bull Dyke Warrior. I'm going to put in here Wonder Woman. Bull Dyke Warrior. Wonder Woman. Okay, verse 14. The lesbian Bull Dyke woman who hides a pile higher and deeper, known as a university PhD, hides a pile higher and deeper behind the fictional king, quote unquote, of King of Kings ruler, parentheses, a measuring stick. who longs to rule with his rod, ruler of iron, his ruler rod. A measuring stick, also known as all these utility water and electricity meters out here. It's all fucking foundational in the same concept. That's that fucking measuring stick rule bullshit. King of Kings, Father, Son, Holy Spirit, Spirit dominant, New Testament, teach all the girls and the children, you better be submissive to the fucking husband or the king energy, or we're gonna shun your ass. Is that, I'm sure that's quite sensible with a solid statement. I'm sure that's quite sensible. But I could be wrong. Could be wrong, though. Always got to leave the option out there. Otherwise, I'd be stuck in the mud just as stuck as the stuck fuck. If I was to go around saying and fucking pushing my story all over everyone and make them fucking believe it, I'd be just as dead. Anyway, so verse 15. So the real X-ray vision is knowing all the different dead words. So, well, with Japanese inflection, shall read this verse with Japanese inflection. That would be Black Ninja. So, the real X-ray vision, because remember, the title to the whole article is called See Through Everything, which is a response to a YouTube astrologer, one of the astrologers who likes to give the weekly astrology reports for all the 12 signs, one of those 12 signs being Capricorn, which this thought body sisterly brother is a purebred fucking Capricorn. Born 1-9, yeah, COVID 1-9. And that ain't no fucking coincidence when 1-9 COVID came out, because it's all directed at me. Because they know exactly who the fuck I am from day one since I was birthed. And they knew their day was coming. They knew the full audit was coming. They knew they weren't going to be able to stop it, but yet at the same time, they wanted it to happen because they really want to grow up. The bully really wants to grow up. The little guy really wants to be lifted to the tits because all his meanness is actually just symbolic, metaphoric, allegoric. It's just an allegory. All this tyrantness that's going on, it's really just a cover-up for what's really going on, and that's just a little child that's just been born and it's crying desperately for its first tit suck. It's actually a cry. all of prison bubba prisonhood that's going around butt fucking all what's called pedophilia, ruling every fucking thing, and they hate the pedophiles more than anything. They can't stand them more than anything, is pedophilia. That's the one subject they fear the most, which they tout as the worst thing. But it's actually the thing they fear the most. That's why they look to step it out, grind it out, annihilate it as much as they can. Because the pedophilia is what exposes their fucking ass the most. Because it's exactly who they are. It's the mirror reflection they don't want to look at and acknowledge and admit and confess. They are a self-destructive pedophile fuck. Constantly stamping out the child inside of them and outside of them. Fucking child murder, rapists. Which is nothing but another word for a fucking wimp. But don't want to leave it there now. Otherwise, they would feel so fucking belittled, it would be a dead situation. Don't want to leave them there. Don't want to leave them there crying. All that tyranny is just tears. It's a big fucking mask. Going around looking all big, bad, and intimidating is a mask for a little baby crier. It's a little child crying. Desperate for mama's tit milk. For the first suckle. It's very obvious to me what's going on. The name of the article, once again, is See Through Everything. X-ray eyes, triple X. And Prison Bubba needs to hear the story, the real story. Needs to see the real reflection in the Michael Jack daughter mirror, the full moon thriller. Needs to see it. Because that's where all the reality begins and forever. The first step to enter into forever living instead of looking forward to forever death. So anyway. So, verse, left off at verse 15, getting back to verse 15. So, the real X-ray vision, okay, that's called Japanese inflection once again. In other words, it's how to properly read a sentence with emphasis on certain words and phrases so that it's very sensible and comprehended. There is comprehension there. Out in the court system, they call it understand, to have some understanding what's being said. It's just that the word understand used in the court system, the word understand has been used in a very bad way because it means to stand under their assumptive jurisdiction. So when the court judge says, "Do you understand me?" And of course, he's looking for the yes word. In other words, do you agree? The unseen, what's going on in the unseen magical appearance realm? What he's saying is this: do you stand under my assumptive jurisdiction to tell you to do whatever the fuck I want? And if you don't do it, then I got the power to throw your ass into prison with Bubba, to fuck your ass and beat your ass down forever? And he's always looking for the yes, because that's all he wants to hear. That's all he wants, is total agreement with his dominant fucking fuck self. That's exactly what's going on with all legalism in the mud-stuck realm. It's not legalism, it's the mud-stuck, abusive realm to legalism. Nothing wrong with legalism. The mud-stuck, abusive use of legalism. That's the warrior. That's fuck. And that's the big military distinction. To graduate boot camp with distinction and be conscious with that every fucking second of the day. Nothing wrong with legalism. Even in the Bible, legalism is portrayed as the worst fucking thing. Well, I'm here to say, no, it's not. It's the abusive, stuck in the mud use with anything that's what's fucked up. Everything in and of itself is wonderful, but anything of and of itself can be used in an abusive and stuck in the mud manner with it, looking to keep it like that forever. That's the big problem. But don't believe me, it's just a story. But it's very self-evident to me, and I hold these truths with Japanese inflection. I hold these truths to be self-evident. Does that sound like something a founding father wrote? I hold these truths, not these truths. It isn't these truths. That's the wrong inflection. It's these specific, distinct truths to be self-evident. That's a big difference. There's a big difference between these truths. The emphasis is on truths. No, it's these truths. It's kind of like the truth. It's different from a truth. It's kind of like there's only one truth that makes any fucking real sense. Underneath it all. Yeah, like the old song goes. Like Gwen Stefani, underneath it all. Seen for what it really is. Underneath it all. But don't believe me, it's just a story. It's just an evidence to consider now. It's just evidence to consider. This is a real court. And there's real evidence being brought into this real court. A little bit different than Captain Kangaroo's court system. A lot fucking different. A big fucking law difference. Anyway, so verse 15. So the real X-ray vision is knowing all the different words that the smack bull dyke uses, which is all the same one word. The same one word that the lesbian smack bull dyke Wonder Woman supports. It all could come down to this one word called dead. Because all children are considered to be born dead at the hospital. And that's the only way that they steal the child's credit, is with that assumption. Because a dead child is considered to have abandoned the credit funds in the public trust that was set up in 1933, June the 5th. through House Joint Resolution 192, because all the fuckers running the corporation behind the corporation, the real men and women, they went bankrupt with bankruptcy number 3 to the Revolutionary War debt when the Founding Fathers broke away from the English bank, which was Vatican controlled, with a religious story. So the same Founding Fathers that broke away and wrote the original Constitution, who said these words, it's these truths that are self-evident. When they were breaking away from religious control, all religious control, all religions. But the most dominant one was the Vatican's Christian modern Bible interpretation, Jesus Savior, Father, Son, Holy Spirit, man, king, dominant over the woman and child religion. They were breaking away from that. But they found out after they were breaking away that they had a problem, and the problem was they still needed some money in order to function. That was the problem. So, they had to go back under jurisdiction with the breakaway and borrow from the Vatican Pope, known as the English Bank, the Bank of England. They borrowed money from them to hire soldiers to fight their war. That's where all the bankruptcy happens from. That's where all the bankruptcy happens from. Because in the international legal system, a bank loan has 70 years to be paid back. 70 years. And if you don't pay the Bank of England the money back in gold, because back then it was in gold, if you didn't give them back their money in gold, then you considered to have gone bankrupt. And then the collateral that you put up to borrow the gold, the collateral gets confiscated. That's simple banking loan rules out here in town. Anyone can go out to the fucking simple loan store and they're going to say, well, you got some collateral for your loan? And they're going to say, what we want is the title to your car. So give us the title to your car so that way if you don't pay us back, then we get your car. Okay, so bankruptcy number 1 for the nation. For the Revolutionary War debt, which brings us to the hospitals, why the doctors steal the credit from the children, why the doctors place the children under an assumed death to have abandoned the funds to the creditor position to the bankruptcy. So getting back to bankruptcy number 1. The collateral for the first bankruptcy or for the first loan, the collateral for the loan when the Founding Fathers borrowed money from the Bank of England to hire soldiers to fight the war to get a free fucking country, a breakaway from the fucking religious control. It was a breakaway. Okay, so they had to get money. They had to, because they still lived under the bad habit. Bad habits don't change overnight. So they still were hooked on the money system. In order to break away, they had to hire soldiers. There was no way around it. because the Vatican was going to come after their ass for breaking away. They knew it. Let's go to part 2 on this. Let's go to part 2 on Sunday's sermon. It's getting too long to upload. An hour and a half is enough. 2 hours is enough. All right.